If your proposal looks like a boring brochure, you've already lost the deal. But what if you could use ChatGPT to build a strategic, value-driven proposal, one that makes your buyers say, "Damn, they really understand our business." In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that using the Vision framework. It is the same structure top sales pros use to win enterprise-level deals every week. So let's stop pitching and start diagnosing. I've spent 20 years in sales, and I've written proposals that closed million-dollar deals and many that died a slow death in procurement hell or somewhere on a SharePoint drive. The difference? One told a story about a customer's future. The other one was just a quote. And today I will show you how to use the power of ChatGPT to build a proposal that tells that story, your customer's story, using Vision. We'll play the role of an account executive working for HubSpot. HubSpot is a famous CRM platform, a competitor of Salesforce.com. And I will use that as an example to show how you could use the Vision proposal for a sample customer, which is a manufacturing company specialized in building those beautiful widgets. Let's take a look. V stands for vision. This is your point of view. This is how you believe your customer's world is changing. It's not fluff. It's how you establish credibility. Remember this, buyers don't buy product, they buy a better version of themselves. So let's jump into ChatGPT and see how we can create that. So I'll create a new window and I'll start with the first prompt. There it is. I'm asking it, help me create a compelling vision statement for a global manufacturing company that produces widgets and sells them worldwide. Highlight key industry trends like digital transformation, automations, and customer expectations. The whole idea behind that is that what you are doing is you are asking ChatGPT to gather all of the knowledge available to help you build a compelling point of view that is tailored to the customer. In this case, a global manufacturing company selling widgets. So we see that ChatGPT is thinking. We are using the model 5, as you can see on the top left. And so he's coming with a number of ideas. So let's take a look at it into more details. So we can have 3 vision statements, one which is more customer obsessed and instant, B, digital and autonomous, and C is focused on outcomes, not just product. Based on your research, you can look at which one will resonate the best with your customer. And ChatGPT even comes with one that actually is blending all 3 areas. So the world's most trusted data-driven widget partner, delivering zero defect, zero delay outcomes through a connected, automated, and circular value chain. And then ChatGPT provides as well the why now. So why should they act now? And it talks about digital transformation, automation and AI, customer expectations, supply chain resilience, sustainability and circularity. And then it looks at what this vision means in practice, looking at pillars to outcomes to sample KPIs. And it will look at customer 1, so faster quotes, reliable delivery, full transparency, the KPI, on-time orders, NPS, quote to order, etc. Digital thread everywhere, autonomous and predictive operation. It looks pretty good. And then we have a one-page narrative, which is exec ready. And that can say as well, this is the vision, this is how we win, and this is what customers feel. So that one-page narrative is actually the story they can tell to their customer or the story they can tell internally. And that's really critical. If you start your story with that and that it ties to exactly the way they are positioning their solution and their product, the widgets they're selling, you're already very close to getting a very strong story. So we have the vision, we have the point of view. Let's jump into the issues because unfortunately they are facing issues and we are here to help them. Let's take a look. Okay, when we are talking about issues, this is really where ChatGPT can become your discovery engine. A lot of the reps would just jump straight to talk about product. The pro would sell by diagnosing before they prescribe. So this is how we're going to use it. I will use a prompt that I prepared. I'm asking, list the top 5 business issues a global manufacturing company producing widgets might face that a CRM like HubSpot could solve. And I'm asking ChatGPT to also look at operational, customer, and revenue challenges. So let's see what it comes back with. And we see that ChatGPT is creating a table looking at business issues, the different categories, description of the challenge, and how HubSpot CRM solves for those challenges. It has come up with 5 main challenges and is providing a summary as well. And then here you see that it summarizes as HubSpot helps global manufacturers move from disjointed systems and reactive selling to connected relationships and proactive growth. Sounds pretty good. And a number of core value pillars that are relying into that. And so ChatGPT can turn that into a table as a proposal, but what you could also do is go one step deeper and look at a different personas on customer side. And what I will ask ChatGPT is, please provide the issues, stakeholders, sales, CFO, marketing, and support. And that's a really cool trick that you can do. So instead of just looking at high-level issues as we have seen, you can really look at the key business issues across the different personas in the business. And depending on who you're speaking with, you can use those talking points and validate whether they're facing those challenges. And you'll see that the answers are pretty good. The sales director would be looking at the lack of visibility in the pipeline or the missed opportunities. The CFO would see unreliable sales forecasting, limited insights into the cost of customer acquisition. Chief Marketing Officer would have difficulty around marketing effectiveness. And the head of customer support service has disconnected customer data and service history. So that ties all of it together with an executive summary, providing actually the main challenges and providing a core value statement, which says that it turns disconnected global operations into one connected customer engine where marketing, sales, service, and finance all run on real-time insight. Before we look into solutions, let's do one more thing. Because it's great to know what the issues are. It's great to know which issues are important for which stakeholder in the business. But it's even better if we have the ability to look at what are the main KPIs and try to attach some numbers to the issues that they have. This is where you really go from fluff to concrete story. And so what I will ask ChatGPT now is to expand each issue with metrics or KPI impacted, like conversion rate, CLV, cost per lead, and so on, for each stakeholder. And now it does work for every single stakeholder in the business, looking at the business issue, the description of that challenge, the KPIs are being impacted, and how HubSpot can solve it. And you have that across each and every stakeholder in the business. And you could use the summary table as a way to drive a conversation. So now that we have a clear understanding of the potential issues, who is being impacted by that, how are they measuring those issues, let's take a look at how could they solve those challenges. And so what I will do right now is look at potential solutions. And what I do like to do is to spend time looking at multiple solutions. I use S as solutions ending on S because if you only come with one solution being your product will save the world, you don't have any kind of credibility. Your clients are probably looking at different ways to address those challenges. And if you come as an advisor that says, well, you have multiple options, you have more credibility and the ability to impact and actually showcase the best way forward. And you act as a real consultant. So let's ask ChatGPT to looking at the issues and to brainstorm with 3 solutions options. Do nothing, status quo, build in-house, or implement HubSpot CRM. And summarize the pros and the cons for each. And there we go. Now what ChatGPT is doing is looking at the 3 options. It's providing the pros, the cons for the do nothing scenario. So The pro of doing nothing is that there is no immediate cost or disruptions to operation. The teams will play and work the way they are used to, and there will be no gap in productivity while they are doing the changes. At the same time, they have fragmented data, so poor visibility across sales, marketing, and service. They have impact on revenue growth, cost efficiency, the high SG&A cost from manual work and duplicated tools. They could go to building an in-house solution. And that's something that a lot of companies do. They, especially with AI right now and the ability to quickly build applications. Well, it could be something that can be really customized. The problem is it might be a long development time. There can be some high upfront cost and so on. And the third option would be to, hey, buy my product, HubSpot CRM. And they have the pros and the cons, and you can be honest about also the cons in your proposal. So indeed, they will need to pay a subscription-based model. There will be some change management and process alignment, but the customers knows that. And so hiding that and not telling them that, hey, what I'm selling you will cost you money would be ridiculous. I think the main thing is that you need to be able to showcase that the benefits that would come from that solutions are way higher than the cost that will incur by doing that move. There we are. We have a great executive comparison summary again being made available for us, and some recommendations about using HubSpot CRM. So it's the fastest path to measurable value, the lowest implementation risk, and the greatest long-term scalability across sales, marketing, and customer service operation. Full disclosure, I have no affinity or anything with HubSpot. I just chose them. So if you think that it doesn't make sense, just let me know in the comments below. So I think we have the solutions now. The idea now is to go one step further and to look at not only the solutions, but looking also at what would be the impact of those solutions. So what I'll ask ChatGPT now is really to help me actually estimate the potential impact. And I have a prompt ready that I will paste here. And the prompt is estimated potential business impact for a global manufacturing firm that improves leads conversion by 15%, reduces churn by 10%, and increases sales productivity by 20% using HubSpot CRM. And please provide evidence of the claims. So what I'm doing here, I'm asking him to come up with a value model as well as providing some evidence to make sure that whenever you're presenting that to your client, you have some strong evidence to back what you're telling about. And we see that ChatGPT 5 model is thinking, it's making assumptions, estimating the business impact, and really doing all the thinking behind it. There we are. So it has thought for 1 minute and 2 seconds and read a lot of sources, 27 sources. I'm sure that you would not have had the chance to read 27 different sources in 1 minute. And that's really where the power of ChatGPT or any AI systems comes from. So what it has done, it has looked at CFO-friendly estimates using a single composite for a global widget manufacturer. So what it means is that it has created a sample company using a lot of different data points and combined them together. And it has some assumptions around the number of leads, the customer conversion of 10%, average first-year revenue per new customer, existing customer revenue base, annual churn, so customers that are leaving, the gross margin, the sales team, 120 reps, and each rep costing 130K per year in Europe. And it modeled the impact with HubSpot CRM, looking at an increase in conversion, reduction in churn, and increase in sales productivity. And it creates then a number of scenarios, but I would say that by doing that, the top line impact, so additional revenue would be 7.2 million in conversion and 3.6 million by reducing churn, which is 10 million a year by doing that transition. And the profit impact, it's also looking at the profitability of the process, because it's not about the top line impact is really about the profit that is being generated by your initiative. This is where CFO is looking at. And it comes down with 6.9 million a year and has some evidence also being tied to it. And you can do a number of things. You can ask ChatGPT to create an Excel model, or you can ask it to recalculate using some of your numbers. Please always make a double check with the numbers, since ChatGPT is an LLM and it's not a calculator. So sometimes there might be some mistakes there. There we are. So now we have the impact and we have a story to tell. But a key thing is that your customers will probably have some objections. And the next steps is really to look into those objections. So let's jump into it. ChatGPT can be a great tool to help us understand what would be the customer's objections. Customers will not simply say, hey, yes, absolutely. They'll probably have some concerns. And if you are proactive into coming with those objections and how you are looking at helping them through those potential issues, you are really positioning yourselves again as a consultative partner that is working with them, alongside them, making them successful. And what I have here as a prompt is, give me the top objections for a manufacturing company when they're evaluating HubSpot CRM. And for each one of those concerns, suggest a confident, customer-centric counter-argument. And what ChatGPT now will do is we'll look at every single of those objections and come up with customer-centric responses. And one of the objections could be that it would not integrate with their ERP and legacy systems, or that it might be too expensive, or that the sales team won't use it and that adoption might be a problem, or that they're a complex company, we are unique, and HubSpot is only for small businesses, or there are some concerns about data security and compliance, etc. So here we really have all the different objections being summarized, as well as evidence from studies that ChatGPT has found online about proven success. And now the next step is really to look at the next steps, which is the N in the vision framework, which is all about the next steps. What we have done so far is we have defined a point of view. We have looked at the current issues that a customer is facing. We have looked at potential options and solutions. We have looked at the impact of choosing our solution. We have looked at objections, and now it's all about keeping momentum. What you don't want to do is just hand that over to the customer and pray that they will call you back, because they won't. So a best practice is to create a mutual close plan or a joint success plan. It depends on how you want to call it. And ChatGPT can help you do that. And you can call that the mutual close plan for implementing HubSpot CRM at a global manufacturing company, from proposal approval to go live. And include the milestones for kickoff, data migration, training, and success metrics. And actually, I would not do from proposal approval, but I will go from demo to go live. What you want to do here is to come up with a plan showcasing that you've been selling that quite a long time and you know exactly how it goes. You know that there are a number of steps that need to happen before a customer goes live. And if you can showcase that to the customer and help them actually buy your solutions, which is all about buyer enablement, it's about helping them understanding what they need to do in order to go live. And there are a lot of things happening, and you're the expert. You're selling software for a living or a product for a living, and so you know exactly what needs to happen. And you can come with that outside-in view and say, these are the steps that we are usually seeing that other brands need to take in order to make a decision and going live. ChatGPT came up with a discovery alignment phase, implementation, kickoff, data migration, system migration, and so on. It's kind of okay, but what I do miss is that it's really focused on actually some areas that we are missing, such as legal review, for example. I know that in some industries you need to have the contracts being reviewed, so I will ask it to review it around terms and conditions. So now it has created an updated plan looking at commercial proposals and T's and C's. Who are the owners? Probably you will have procurement, you will be legal, it will be you, the sales rep, and so on. And a number of exit criteria for every step in there. So what we have done now is we have completed the entire value proposition. And what I will ask ChatGPT now is to really combine that into one deck. And there you go. And right now, ChatGPT will create actually the structure for your slide deck, looking at title, vision, industry imperative, the issues, the solutions, the impact, the evidence, the objections, the next steps, and the KPIs for success, focusing on the way that you are looking at your customer success. There you go. And now we'll have him create the PowerPoint. So let's take a look now at what ChatGPT has created for us. So it has created this deck presenting the whole work. So the vision, the why now, the issues, the solutions, financial impacts, the proof, the concerns and the responses, the joint success plan, and the key success metrics, shared ownership, and so on. So we have actually all the elements from the vision framework that are being included there. But let's face it, it really looks ugly. So what I like to do is to use a third-party tool called Gamma that helps me to beautify those texts. So let's take a look at how Gamma can do that for us. So now I'm into Gamma, and Gamma is an AI presentation creation tool that can help you start from scratch or update and beautify a deck. And I'll just import the file. I'll ask it to do a visual import, so it will adapt the content. You can choose a theme on how do you want the slide to look like. You have a lot of templates and you can get lost into watching a lot of them. But it will start importing, make it nicer, and then creating the deck for you. So what we see now is that Gamma has created a great looking slides that actually are showcasing the different elements of the presentation. If you want me to spend more time looking at how you can use Gamma to make nice proposal, just let me know via the comments and I'll be happy to make a deeper dive into that. But for now, this is it. Thank you for spending time with me and looking at how you can use the vision proposal framework to create a compelling proposal that gets signatures. I'll see you in the next one, and please check the video over there because I believe that it will be very interesting for you. Have a good day. Take care. Bye-bye.